So you're pretty handy. You've got some skills and a bucket of tools. But are you really sure how to fix that faucet or repair that hole in the wall? And what would it take to do a remodeling project yourself? If you're unsure, even a little bit, hit the pause button on those projects and take a listen to Contractor John, or you might end up singing the DIY blues. Welcome to the DIY House Medic Podcast. The doctor is in.
Hey, Contractor John is in the house. How are we doing today, everyone? Hope everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend, and a huge shout out to all those men and women who sacrificed to assure us the freedom that we enjoy. Freedom is not free. Just ask any veteran. I can't tell you how much I admire the men and women who sacrifice for us daily. As I said many times before, I love teaching and I believe in processes and systems. A lot of the parts of a successful remodeling project involve the same parts, which will become really apparent today. Right? And today we're going to be talking about the top 10 remodeling project regrets. Things that you would do different if you had to do it again. And as always, you can access the show notes right here at DIYHouseMedic.com. And if you want any other resources, head on over to ContractorJohn.com and the world that is Contractor John. So, huge shout out to Roy Worley from Roy Worley Voiceovers for that incredible intro. If you need any kind of voice work, narration of technical manuals, books, anything, give Roy a holler, RoyWorleyVO.com, and tell him Contractor John sent you. All that link information will be in the show notes too. So, hey, a little exciting news from the Contractor John world. Me and the Mrs. Contractor John, are going to be grandparents. Once again, our second grandchild. We just found this out. It's great. We don't know boy or girl yet, but as long as they're healthy, it doesn't really matter. So we're excited about that, and can't wait. Baby's due at the end of December, and I told them to make sure they tell the doctor we want it born this year, so that they can take the tax rate out for the whole year. So, yeah, that's exciting news. So, hey, if you jump over to Contractor John YouTube channel. There's just a whole bunch of a really wide variety of DIY videos covering all parts of your home and stuff. There's even a couple funny ones too. You can watch me balance 15 nails on the head of one nail, and then my famous duct tape escape trick. You can see that over there too. So hop on over to Contractor John YouTube channel and check out all the videos there. So let's jump right into this top remodeling regrets for the DIYer. So I've got 10 of them here, and they're not really in order. And as I said, some of them tie together with each other and stuff, so we're just going to kind of jump in here. So number one regret is underestimating the cost. All right, that's a big one. It seems like a lot of people, because you don't do this all the time, you tend to do that a little bit. So what I want you to do is I want you to head over to the Remodeling Magazine's Cost versus Value Report. They got their new one out for 2020. And pick your region. Like I'm in the North Central region as far as they're concerned there. East North Central region. Sorry about that. So if you go there and you put in your region and the year, it'll come up to a list of projects, and they've got everything from like manufactured stone veneer on your front door, garage door replacement, siding replacement, vinyl, siding replacement, cement board, window replacements, decks, kitchens, and 3 different levels of kitchen: a minor, a mid-range, and a major kitchen remodel. And then they've got mid-range and upscale and everything in that. So adding a master suite addition, bathrooms, grand entrance. I mean, they've got a bunch of projects here. And they've got the job cost for those things, all right? And they have the resale value, and then the cost you can expect to recoup with that project. That's important because you got to know if you're going to get your money back on doing this or not. So, and then they've got a column that says changes from the previous year. Did that go up or did that go down? Cost wise, recoup wise, and stuff like that. So head on over there. Again, the link will be in the show notes, and take a look at that report, and that's going to give you an idea on what kind of money you're going to spend. Now, obviously, this is hiring professional contractors to do the work, and if you're going to do some of it on your own, you're going to have to kind of, adjust that downward a little bit, but don't get too crazy here, okay? And adjust it way, way down, because the materials are going to be what the materials are, and so you don't want to go too far over that. So another regret is not having a detailed budget and an accurate scope of work. Now, it's the budget and the scope, they kind of go hand in hand, okay? And it's really difficult to get that detailed budget without a detailed scope of work, right? Now, the scope includes all the areas of your project and the areas that will be affected or touched because of that project, right? And you're gonna have to anticipate the unknown. Actually anticipate there will be items uncovered that need to be fixed that are currently unknown. That's a better way to phrase it, I guess. Then after that scope is written, you can, if you're looking at the cost versus value thing, you can compare it to the scope of that project, okay? And then you can move on to creating the budget. Number 3 is choosing the cheapest contractor. Oh, one of my pet peeves. If you are a regular listener, I think the last episode we did was destroying the 3-bid myth. And I went into a little bit of the process that you need to follow to select a contractor. So that's the process you want to follow. I mean, if you listen to that episode, it's really a different way of thinking on the whole bid proposal, the way you go about doing it and stuff, okay? So take a listen to that, and you'll understand more of what I'm talking about. You don't want to pick the lowest price contract. You just don't want to do that, all right? It'll make a mess out of your project more times than not. So, and then in conjunction with that is, if you're gonna hire someone to run the whole job and everything, you need to choose a general contractor that shares your vision for this project. And I talk about that a little bit too in the previous podcast, Destroying the 3-Bid Myth. So, number 4 is choosing poor floor plans. Now, here's an opportunity you have, and I suggest you think hard about this one. I know you want to do it yourself, and everyone, thinks they're a designer or a decorator or whatever, but it never hurts to get some professional information. Designers, decorators, they can be hired for a project, and they can be hired by the hour for consultation, right? So I would strongly suggest that you bring in a designer/decorator. Now, the difference real quick, decorators decorate, designers design space, okay? Traffic flows, things like that, all right? So if you get, decorators are typically not designers, but designers are decorators, and then they move up the scale to designers. Typically, that's the way. Now, there's always exceptions to the rule, but typically that's the way that works. So I would suggest that you hire a decorator/designer to come in and spend an hour or two and pay them the money that they charge for that hour or two consultation, and go over it with them with your project. Now, you're going to want to have the scope for the project already defined when you sit there and in your appointment and go over with them, but get their input. And you know what? Here's the deal. Listen to what they have to say. You're hiring them to come in and explain to you, look at your scope, and tell you what they think. Don't spend the time trying to convince them that your ideas are the best. That's not what you hired them for. All right? You hired them to come in and give their opinion. So please listen to them. Let them tell you what they think. And then when they leave, you can just say, no, I ain't doing any of it, or I'm doing some of it, or whatever. But listen to what they say. And in there, I'm sure the decorator, they will, guide you in this way too. But if you don't do that, okay, don't try to ride the newest design trends. They're not always smart. Now, you have to take that into consideration, but you don't want to just go with that, with all the new design trends and stuff. Something might be open shelving in the kitchen, all right? Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all, all right? Back in the old day, the farmhouse days and everything, it was a whole different bunch of items in the kitchen and everything. And everybody's got a Tupperware collection, and nobody wants to see that stuff, all right? So I would stay away from the open shelving and that. So another regret, number 5, not fully researching all the material options, right? What is out there? What's the options on some of that stuff that's out there? The quality of it, the trends, all that kind of stuff you want to take into consideration. There may be things that you have no idea that they're out there or that they can do it. Take a look at all that stuff. Do your homework. Spend some time doing that. And you know me, and I hold my hand up right now. The 5 P's, proper planning prevents poor performance. So spend enough time planning and researching everything, and you'll wind up with a better finished product. So one thing I want you to think about too, number 6, is adding weight of granite or concrete countertops. Right, they're extremely heavy, and it adds a lot of weight to that floor load. And depending on the structure of your home, the age of it, the size of the kitchen to a degree, adding that extra weight can overload it and make the floor bouncy. All right, I have a friend of mine who recently moved out of this area and moved about 3 hours south, bought a house and rehabbed it, and didn't change the cabinets, but put in granite countertops and put an island in with a big island with a granite countertop on the island. And, got furniture in, everything, moved in, kitchen, everything, the cabinets and that. And then every time he'd walk through the kitchen, everything would rattle. And he called me and talked to me about it. And I immediately had him go down in the crawl space and do some measurements, floor joist size, spacing, span, and had him take pictures and send them to me. And then we got on the phone and talked about it and stuff. And it turns out that the floor joists that were there were right at the maximum amount of the span. Then couple that with adding all that extra weight of the granite, and that granite can go about 20 pounds for 1.25 inch granite, about 20 pounds a square foot. That's a lot of weight. Okay, you usually have about 30 lineal foot of cabinets in a kitchen. 30, they're about 2 foot wide, so that's 60 square foot. 60 times 20, 1,200 pounds. If your kitchen is 15 by 15, that's 225 square foot, and you're adding 1,200 pounds, okay? You're adding about 6 pounds per square foot to the load of that floor. Now, your floor is calculated at, a dead weight of about 10 pounds it'll hold, and a live weight of about 40. Anything that's attached to the house is considered dead weight. So the cabinets, the countertops, that's going to be dead weight. Live weight would be other people in there, the things in your cabinets, the furniture, kitchen table, all that kind of stuff. So the flooring, if the flooring's, ceramic or quarry tile or whatever too. So all that stuff adds up. And and obviously in his case, he stressed the load. And what I had him do was go down the basement and set a beam up in the crawl space, right down the center of that span, and some 4x4 posts going down. And that stiffened it up quite a bit and was able to take that shakiness out of everything. But you just want to not do it, okay, but be aware what you're doing and research that stuff and look at it before you do it, all right? So number 7, thinking DIYing will automatically save you money. The ability to work on a project after work, and I've seen it, and on weekends, and I've seen this countless times, it's going to draw that timeline out tremendously. If you get yourself in trouble during that project, and then, because you just can't get it done and you have to call a contractor in, more likely he's going to charge you more to clean up the mess than he would have charged you if you hired him right in the beginning. So know your talents and your abilities and honestly assess them. All right? Be honest with that. Number 8, not dividing up the workload equally. It's for DIY couples. All right? You need to be realistic, time-wise, talent-wise, ability-wise. What can you do? What can your wife do? What can your husband do? You need to look at that. And you really, really need to take into consideration your time. All right? And what other things are you committed to that you can't get out of? Have you got children? That's something, just really, really, really sit down and look at that. And use Google Calendar or whatever. And how much time do you actually have a week that you go work on this project and put on the calendar? Number 9 is converting an unused bedroom into a walk-in closet. When you're remodeling and you're doing a project, you need to think of your lifestyle and the family dynamic. But you've always got to think about that resale value, right? Converting that garage into a family room, it could work really, really well for you, but it also could devalue the home. Maybe it's better to add an addition. Because here's the deal. And I know we don't have the money for it, but listen to me here. If you convert that garage and it devalues the house in doing that, then the actual cost of that project is the cost of that original conversion and the loss of value losing that garage. You got to add those two things together. So in the long run, you may be better off spending the money for that addition, and now you've got them both. Or it may be really, really close, and you're going, do I want to, for this little bit of money I'm going to recoup, do I really want to do all this work myself? Do you know what I mean? So it's something that you have to consider. And again, it's like I said, a lot of these things just keep coming up and up and up. Planning, again. Rushing into the remodel and not taking the time to plan, that's huge. It really is. And one of those things is, and it's something that I always make sure that I do before I stick a shovel in the ground and build a home, is rushing into the remodel is not having all the materials on site, or at least ordered with confirmed delivery dates, ordered to a point in the process where you know it's not going to get back ordered. Because the worst thing that you can have happen is halfway through your project, you're ready to get everything done, you're ready to throw the cabinets in, and something happened, and you can't get the cabinets for another 3 weeks. And then you've got vacation coming up, or you've got some other commitments or something, and you can't let it go out that long because you can't commit to finish this, and it's a mess. It's a mess. So, and even if you could, you want to stay another 3 weeks with no cabinets, no sink, and no nothing in your kitchen. So it's stressful enough, however it is. So make sure you get all the material, at least confirm delivery dates. So, and you know what? While you're at it, when you're figuring your schedule for the project, figure the shopping time in there, okay? It's going to take time to run to the store after work or stop on the way home. It's just going to take time. Make sure that you consider that stuff in there too. And then setting up to get ready to work, okay? You're doing tile, okay? You've got the wet saw to get out. You've got that. You got to set it up. You got tarps to put down. You got shield to put up so you don't get everything wet. And then when it's all done, then you've got to clean up that whole mess and everything. So make sure you include time in the schedule for the setup and for the cleanup. All right. So just some of the things that you'll live to regret if you don't follow the system and don't do things in a process type way. So that's it for today. That's all I got for you today. If you want a complete yearly home maintenance checklist, jump over to contractorjohn.com, sign up to follow me, and I'll send you that maintenance checklist absolutely free. And again, jump over to Contractor John YouTube channel and take a look at my DIY videos. There's like 80, 90 of them or something like that. And don't forget, if you find them useful or whatever, please subscribe to my channel. I really, really do appreciate all my subscribers and viewers, which are over 1 million now, actually. So thank you to everyone for that. That's all we got for today. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining Contractor John here at DIYHousemedic.com. If you have comments or questions, please visit the Contractor John Facebook page. And for everything else, visit ContractorJohn.com.